the Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
Top of the morning to you, my good people. Happy. I don't know what day it is. Wednesday, hump day Wednesday.
Yep.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. It's your host with the most, Tony Mays, Lavelle Salter. What it do, my guy?
Man, work.
I know. Shit. It's the nature of the beast right now, bro. You gonna work, you ain't gonna eat. She said she hitting it early. Happy birthday, Val. Happy birthday, Val.
Appreciate you.
Good morning, Mayor Mac. Winning Wednesday. Okay, then winning Wednesday. Mail in the building, the winning Wednesday. That's got a nice little ring to it. Winning Wednesday. Okay, then. Winning Wednesday. Now we got a topic that I just kind of wanted to revisit. We did this probably last year sometime. And it kind of popped back up in my head. Which is harder for you to do? Forgive or forget, and why? Which is harder for you to do? Forgive or forget, and why? Whew. We was talking about them young folk, boy, how angry they be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, man, like they so angry to the point that forgiveness for whatever didn't happen to them ain't even an option. I think it's just, I ain't gonna forget what's been done to me, said to me, not done to me. And that's the anger I'm gonna carry with me. And so when I looked at that, I started to look at people in general, just all people in general. And man, sometimes we could be some of the hardest folk, bro, or act hard. And we'll carry these imaginary feuds for decades and years, and you don't even know why you even mad at the person no more.
Right.
But you just so insistent upon being mad at them to the point you just angry, mad. You don't want to forgive. You ain't trying to forget. And so it just made me really think about this question again and revisit it again. So, I mean, is it really that hard, man, to forgive somebody, or just maybe not forget? If somebody wronged you, you might not really just forget, but is it really just that hard to kind of forgive or forget?
I think some people just like to play victim. Doc.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Uh,
But if you don't know why you playing victim, so you saying that's just a part of your MO?
Yep.
That's just a part of your DNA makeup that's to play victim for whatever it is.
Yep.
Mel says forget. Forgiveness is for me, but can't get it out of my head that it happened and why and for what's it's not in my heart to do that. But anywho, I forgave, but I won't forget. God's still working on me. I just don't like, for me, I can understand the I ain't gonna forget part. I really can. But if you knew how forgiveness really worked and how forgiveness is not for that person, bro. That's for you. That's to clear your heart and conscience out. So if you knew that, why you won't forgive?
Right.
Why do you just have to, like, I don't even understand, like, it's I don't, like, life is like complex sometimes.
Mhm.
And I don't understand why people can be so mean and so hateful and so grudgeful and vengeful.
Mhm.
It is hard. All right. Let's see. Let's see what it says. Forgiveness can be difficult due to a combination of emotional, psychological, and relational factors. These include the fear of vulnerability. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. The need for justice. Okay. The desire for revenge. What I just say? You
Mhm.
can't let it go. And the potential for identity crisis associated with holding on to anger, playing victim. Wow. Well, that just answered my question. That just answered my question really quick. if if you, bro, hold on. Yeah. If you don't understand, let's deal with the psychological part, bro.
Mhm.
Let's deal with the emotional and psychological factors. The first one said vulnerability. I can see that because if you are uh one of those people that you wear your heart on your sleeve, on your shoulder, whatever,
Mhm.
and you know that people tend to take advantage of this. It may be hard for you to be vulnerable in that moment. You know what I'm saying? To forgive because you know they just gonna do it to you again. It does that make sense?
Mhm.
So I can see why a person probably wouldn't want to forgive too quickly. I ain't gonna say forgive at all, but forgive too quickly because I'm a person that, I'm always trying to show do, and everybody take advantage of me. So if I just go on forgive them and just move on, then they just gonna feel like they could do it to me again.
Mm.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can get somebody to hop on right quick. Somebody that might add a little insight to this.
Mm.
Man. Okay. Listen to this, Lavelle. Forgiving can feel like exposing oneself to potential harm again. I just said it, which can be unsettling. So if I show you the vulnerable side of me, then you turn around and do it to you again because I already forgave you for that instance or that moment or that offense.
Mhm.
And so you'll just turn around and do it again. So if you turn around and do it again, then what are we really talking about?
Mm.
Anyway, the sense of injustice. The sense of injustice. When someone has been hurt, it can be difficult to reconcile the feeling that the wrongdoer deserves to be punished with the idea of forgiveness. Damn. And then there's just the flat out desire for revenge. You hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
The urge to retaliate against someone who has wronged you can be a powerful motivator against forgiveness. Wow. Monica says both can be very difficult depending on the situation, but forgetting for me is more difficult, especially if I've been severely wrong. But I can say that in my old age, I am learning to forgive for my own sanity and let go enough to forget and not get my get back. See, yeah, that's that revenge. Well, you got to get it back. Like, ain't no workaround. You hurt me, Lavelle, I'm coming for you, bro.
But truly, honestly, I don't think there's never a stage of forgetting. There may be a nature of resolve, if you will, and where you just, you kind of file it away somewhere, but you never forget. People always try to
and
argue.
that's why I didn't do the question. I didn't propose the question is about for just forgetting altogether. I said, how hard is it?
Okay.
Because it can be hard to do, but you ain't gonna never forget. And that's why I didn't pose the question that way, because you ain't gonna never really forget. But how hard is it for you to even try to forget or forgive?
Right.
And just looking at the forgive part based on what the computer is telling me, what Google is telling me, shit, I can see why some people have a problem with the even forgiving part.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if we say, like Monica just said, I can let it go enough to forget but and just kind of throw it in the back of the. But in essence, I ain't never really forgot. Because if you trigger me, I'm gonna bring it back up. Now you did it before,
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, you ain't gonna never really just forget unless you got amnesia or something. But it can be very difficult to even try to do what Monica said, to let it go enough to try to forget about it. That can be tough. But I guess from the forgiveness part, that was the part that I couldn't understand, being that forgiveness is for you, it's not really for the person, it's more so for you. So, but now looking at the vulnerability aspect, people forgive it, feeling like they're too vulnerable, or just a sense of injustice, or just a desire for revenge. But what about this? The identity crisis. holding on to resentment can become part of one's identity, making it difficult to let go of the anger and self-perception associated with it. Then look at this aspect of it. So you and I been friends for 20, I don't know, 30 years, feel like, probably. So there's a level of trust in our relationship. So if I betray that level of trust, now where does that put us? Because being betrayed by someone you love or trust can make forgiveness really challenging, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're the person, you're the least expected person, that I expected, the least person I expected to wrong me. I think that's when it becomes real difficult as it relates to friendship, because even when I look back on that, I often talk about that Kenny situation, me and Kenny, because me and Kenny was friends, and then you did something. I felt like, damn, where's that level of trust? What happened to that level of trust? So I felt betrayed, but even though I felt betrayed, my friendship was stronger than that betrayal. If that makes sense. So I was able to forgive, because I'm finna hit you with this one. Because when he came and talked to me, I listened with my heart.
Right.
That's good stuff, boy. I listened with my heart. Because if I would have just been listening to my ears, I'd have been like, get the F out of here, bro. Going on. Come on, man. Mel says, forgive and move accordingly. We live and we learn. Okay. Monk said, I definitely think that if you are hurt by someone and then hurt again and again and again, it's harder to forgive. Oh, you just being a fool now. That goes back to every action has a consequence. Therefore, you should be mindful of how you treat people. Yeah.
Well, I think, just revisiting this conversation and revisiting this question, man, I got to get up early. And just really looking at life and just the things that, we've talked about and discussed, how people go through things in life. And a lot of times you don't even know what they be going through. You have to kind of try to allow some level of recourse, if you will, to the point to where, like, what was really going on with this person at this particular time, why they committed, whatever this was against you. And I'm not trying to, give them no way out of what they done or what they committed. But however, I think sometimes people don't even think about things sometimes when they do them. And then they come back and say, damn, I didn't mean to do that. You know what I'm saying?
So what you saying is that I wronged you, and I that wasn't my intention.
Yeah.
So
yeah, simply because, like, okay, say for instance, like when I went through the stuff what I went through with my father, I could have lashed out, saying, could have used, uh, some excuses, if you will, to say, man, you know what, man, excuse my vulnerability, man, fuck that podcast. I really wish I didn't mean it, but at that time, I don't really know, man, what's gonna happen from one day to the next.
Yeah, but that's kind of different. You know, I think in that point, you have to look at like I don't know if that was a really good example because if a person say F that pod, you know, or that particular, you know, thing or something like that, or let's just look at the situation. Just say you had said that. I probably wouldn't have took that as a hurt to me. I probably took that as DeVale dealing with something. And
but that's you because your maturity though.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. That wasn't a good example because that's talking about something I'm involved in. So I probably would have looked at it as, you know, oh, he dealing with something. Let me give him some time. You know what I'm saying? But it's different if I come over there to your house while you ain't there and try to hit on Dunn.
That's something totally different.
But you see the difference. That
Right.
ain't no I messed up and I wasn't trying to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was methodically thought out. That was
yeah, nigga, that's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And that trust, bro, is dead. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I think it does depend on a lot of the actual scenario, you know, and what's going on and how people perceive it. I wouldn't have perceived that as anything but he hurting right now. He going through. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't have took that and said, "Oh man, he betrayed me." No, I'm saying this brother dealing with some stuff. Just like when I got on this morning, I tell us, man, you know, pray for my brother, man. You know, I could have said, bro, I don't want to be on. Would you have said Tony tripping today? Now you would have been like, nah, that man hurting.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Phyllis says, life is going to come with hurt. It's the intentional hurt that's hard to forgive and forget. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's that intentional part when you add that intentional on there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to say somebody hurt you and you look at it as intentional and say, oh, I wasn't really trying to do that. What?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, no, that's an oxymoron. That don't even go together.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So it's hard to envision someone intentionally hurting you, telling you, I didn't try to do that. What? You didn't try to intentionally hurt me? So I think Phyllis, that is definitely gonna be hard to forget or to forgive when you know.
In other words, you have some people who just be petty when they don't forgive. You know what I'm saying? Like the scenario that I use, you know what I'm saying, selfish, I just don't want to move on, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then when you have the stuff like we just said, the intentional hurt, that's something on a whole nother level.
Yeah. So I think it's intentional. Like Monica says, I think repetitive is intentional too, because if they repeatedly do the same thing, that's intentional.
Yeah.
So I think intentional and repetitive is in the same area for me because you intentionally keep doing it. You know, now me in it unintentionally hurting you could be I opened the door, you was right behind it, and it hit you in the head. I didn't know you was behind the door. I wasn't trying to do that. I'm sorry, but you saying, you pissed me, you hurt me, you bust my head, but I got to get stitches, and you ain't. Come on, man. At some point, you gotta let that go.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's unintentional hurt.
Right.
Physical hurt, unintentional physical hurt. But I think sometimes we can say stuff and not really mean what we say. And I think that could be a form of hurt too, unintentional hurt. Because you're not really trying to hurt a person, you're saying something, and depending on their perception of it, it could be, hurtful.
I think when we visited this the last time, I had just watched a reel, and the gentleman says, Because when you think about the word forgive, that means it's something that you already are. It ain't something that you plan to do. You
Right.
already got to have a spirit of forgiveness and be a forgiver. So I ain't saying that you allow that person just to pass, but some people just don't have the heart, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Listen with your heart. So you got to already be a forgiving person. And
And some people, but some people don't have that in them, Lavelle. Some
right.
people don't have that. Um, you you um you don't have a heart to forgive or forget, or you don't really care to. Rodney said it's easy for me to forgive, but I won't forget until years of your changed behavior has passed. If my trust was broken, you must earn it back. I'm not the type to bring it up and hold it over your head. It's like it'll likely be in the back of my mind. But see, that's real growth. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I feel the same way you feel. Like if I tell you I done forgave you for it, I'm not gonna keep holding that over your head and bringing it up every time you say something.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like Rodney said, if the behavior has changed, has passed, and you're no longer, displaying that type of behavior, and you're starting to earn my trust, I'm not gonna keep throwing that and bringing that up over your head. Then why even forgive? It's just like the altar on Sunday, bro. You go to the altar on Sunday and with prayer time, and you leave all your issues and stuff, and then as soon as you walk away from the altar, you start right back thinking about it. What was the purpose of you taking it to the altar in prayer?
Mm-hmm.
If you just gonna pick it up and take it right on back with you. Paulette said, I have forgiven, but never forgot. I believe if you're gonna still be with them, yes, forgive them, but don't keep throwing it up in their face. If you keep bringing it up, you then, you're right. You didn't really forgive it. If you're gonna keep throwing it back up in my face.
And I think it's kind of what I was kind of getting to. What Rodney makes a very good point. It's the behavior and the patterns, if you will.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of people, like I said earlier, some people are just victims. You know what I'm saying? They just they just always crying, "Woe is me," and everybody want to be sad for that person. Man, look, just keep that negative energy from around. And so at this point, it's just your patterns and behavior.
So Mel says some women are accused of that after infidelity, forgiving yet bringing it up. In disagreements, the hurt can resurface as a reminder. Yeah, but Mel, you ain't truly forgave me. Like Paulette said, why still be with me and keep bringing it up and throwing it back up in my face? You truly haven't forgiven. Because if you're going to forgive me, I ain't telling you to forget about it. But every time we talk, you going to throw it right back up in my face.
Mm-hmm.
Then at some point, I'm going to get tired of it and say, you know what? I especially if I've changed like Rodney said, changed my behavior, the pattern of behavior that I had. Good morning, Queen. You giving your tea live today? You can get that tea live? Queen said, I ain't thinking about what you talking about. That's the topic, Queen. So I just think let me go back up here. So the relational factors, betrayal of trust, being betrayed by someone you love or trust can make forgiveness particularly challenging. Then the fear of being hurt again. Even if someone has apologized, the fear of being hurt in the future can make it difficult to forgive. And I think that's what Mel was talking about, where they keep bringing it up. They truly haven't forgiven, even though they said they forgave, they truly didn't forgive because that fear of being hurt again keeps just coming up. Then you got other factors like unrealistic expectations, believing that the other person needs to meet a certain conditions before forgiveness is possible can hinder the process. Like, I mean, you're gonna forgive, but they got to meet all this certain criteria now for you to forgive them. The pressure to forgive, being pressured by others to forgive when you're not ready. Hello. Yeah. You got to forgive when you're ready. Because if you ain't ready, when you tell somebody or you say you forgive somebody, you ain't really truly being honest about it. It's harder to process the emotions and work towards forgiveness when somebody is pressuring you to forgive them or forgive somebody else.
Yeah. I think I shared this once before, and I frame it differently now. Since I did what I done, but I told you that when the gentleman that killed my mom, my dad walked up to the gentleman, embraced him, and said, "I forgive you," because I think after talking to the individual, there wasn't any intent what was done, and thinking about what my father did, he had to have some spiritual insight to what he did to do it so quickly, and most definitely that had to be for him and not for the other person. Even though in the scope of things, it seemed as if it probably was, but to understand something that powerful to be able to do something like that, man, was like I can't even fathom it.
Queen said, man, it's harder to forget. I'll forgive, but it's so hard to forget that some things you just can't forget for real. It's emotional trauma.
Yeah.
We got to bring Clark on, bro. We got to bring Clark. Clark, you got to let me know what day you can come on, man. We got to bring you on, bro. He said true forgiveness is forgetting, but true repentance is a change of behavior. If a person is asking for forgiveness and still doing the same thing, then they are just going through the motion. Our forgiveness should not be based on that, but instead we forgive or should forgive the way God forgives us. Well, folk ain't gonna want to hear that. They don't want to hear that one.
That about sums it up, Doc. They
don't want to hear that. So this kind of coincides with what he just said a little bit. Forgiveness is a personal choice. Forgiveness is a personal decision, and it is important to acknowledge that it is not something that can be forced or rushed. Can't be forced or rushed. Mel said, well, there it is. There it is. So we, even though I'm still gonna say, even though I heard Pastor just say that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds, all Christian like and biblical like. But the honest, harsh reality is people will forgive, but you don't necessarily ever forget. Even though, like Monica said, I may, store that way in the back of my mind sometime because, I done moved on. But that don't necessarily mean I forgot. Queen said, realistically speaking, I feel like we all have been in a situation where we have forgiven a person, but we never forget. It's the choice to move forward or not, but don't hold me accountable for still feeling a certain way about what you did to me. Well, if you keep throwing it up in my face, I am. Because you told me you forgave me. If you forgave me, you're not going to keep throwing it up in my face. And what Mel said, sometimes when there's infidelity in a relationship, the woman harbors that and she said, yeah, okay, I forgive you and take you back. But then you keep. Matter of fact, I was looking at wasn't Lauren Lake? What's the other show? The divorce, where they be doing divorce. Anyway, they was talking about the woman was saying, yeah, he keep cheating. He had a early on, he had a pattern of cheating. And I guess once she finally forgave, took him back, then he stopped. But that was still in the back of her mind always. So she just kept accusing him of cheating, everything. So the man took the lie detector test and all that stuff, right? And it determined that he wasn't still cheating. He didn't move on. But the lady was like, no. She was still like at the point saying she didn't even believe the lie detector test or none of that. She was like, nah, because she still truly hadn't forget. So why stay with him? Go on, move on to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Certain situations may trigger what you have forgiven that person for, and it comes with actions come across with that comes with the actions come with consequence. Yeah. Yeah, but it's even if it triggered, you shouldn't throw it back up. You should have said, okay, I didn't forgave this man or this woman for whatever that action, so I'm moving on, whatever that trigger is. And we shouldn't let those triggers control us. Paulette said, don't let nobody make that decision for you. If you forgive them with your heart, people on the outside looking in don't know how you feel about the situation. Folk would tell you, if I was you, but you ain't me.
Right. You said that.
I can't stand that one. If I was you, but you ain't me. So now what?
And I think too, man, and I gotta jump off. I think we do a good job of holding on and harboring stuff. And you only can have so much stuff on your plate, man, that you gotta release, man. And a lot of times that's why forgiveness is for you. Because if you hold all this stuff and bottle all this stuff in,
Kill you from the inside, bro.
come on, bro. Like, okay, I got my phone, I got this cup, I got these glasses. Eventually, I'm gonna drop some.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of the time, we drop this stuff and go back and pick it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man.
Stuff that we need to drop.
Yeah, some stuff
that we shouldn't be picking back up.
Hold it.
And I think that's the part that kind of gets me a lot of time is that, we say we forgive, but that's not truly forgiveness. If you keep bringing it up, keep throwing it back, that ain't forgiving. That's not forgiving. You ain't forgave at all. Because you just waiting on the next time that person do anything so you can bring up that little thing again or that big thing, whatever, however it meant to you.
Right.
And
everybody can tell you about me. They, Don told me sometimes I just be too forgiving. And, wherever they came from, where I got it from, I don't know. It just, life is just too short, man. One day you hear it, you say you're gone tomorrow. And both hear that they're gone today.
I'm the same way, bro. Like, I'm not gonna let. If I could have let a certain situation, bro.
I know.
But I like, man. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna forgive this cat and move on. And that's what I did.
Because he spent $200 on dinner.
You know what I'm saying?
But we don't want to take that $200 and be trying to bun your ass out of jail.
Right. Yeah. That's growth. That's growth. When you and even though the forgiveness part is for me, you as a person that has committed whatever egregious act or infraction that you committed, you shouldn't still be trying to deal with me and keep committing the same infractions over and over and over again. Because if you do, you ain't really repented or being honest about what you've done or haven't done. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think it depends on the person. A lot of time we try to characterize certain moves and things that people do by gender. And I'm not gonna continue to characterize everything because even when I look at it now, when I say women are more emotional than men, even when I look at that now, there are some emotional men, and just because they're emotional don't mean that they're feminine. I didn't say they're feminine. I said emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But when men are too emotional, what do women say? He's so soft. Everything he emotional about everything. He ain't no real man. What the hell a real man got to do with being emotional?
Right.
She said it's always said that a man can have sex with a woman and have no feelings, but it's said that the woman have sex and their emotion. For the most part, I would say the majority of the women are like that, and the majority of the men are like that, but not all women and not all men. Because there are some women that can have sex with you with no emotions.
Absolutely.
And there are some men that can have sex with a woman and lead a marriage, lead a other woman. Just like in what's the movie? Harlem Nights. Sunshine put it on. He called his wife and said, "Baby, I ain't never coming home." Put your mama on the phone. I ain't never coming home.
I'm gonna say this, and I gotta jump off. I think the key thing in this,
right, Mayor Simps. We simps now when we too emotional.
Is when it comes to the forgiveness, it's also a healing process. And I think a lot of times when people, commit whatever, infraction or do whatever they do, the forgiveness part on your hand is that it's a healing thing that you got to allow to happen. And a lot of folks are walking around here so broken and unhealed to the point today they don't have the ability to forgive and or move on because they're broken individuals.
They're broken. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what happens is, like I just said earlier, we hold on and harbor so much stuff. You don't even have the capacity to move on to the next thing because you still got the other stuff that you ain't dealt with. So you can't. You don't have the ability to do so.
That's that fear of being hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you've been hurt and you don't understand because you did nothing to deserve the hurt.
Right.
That and you don't truly heal from that, it's gonna be hard for you to forgive that person and the next person that come along.
Mm-hmm.
She said that was a good wop. Man, that joke, I ain't never come home. Reoccurring hurt, yeah.
Yep. Hey man, I love y'all. I gotta jump off. I gotta go to work.
Man, we finna clock that T. Go ahead, bro. We gonna clock that T.
I love y'all.
Good morning. Good.
He left and took the tea with him. Hold on. I got it though. I got it. Don't play with it.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones.
Come on, girl. You gotta get some stable Wi-Fi at your house. Queen, you gotta get some stable Wi-Fi at your crib, man.
Of the young lady that took her man $5 million after he won it from.
Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, you gonna get you some stable Wi-Fi at the house, girl.
Of the young lady that took her man $5 million after he won it from the lottery. Yeah, let's talk about it. So there's a guy in Canada that went and purchased a lottery ticket. And from that lottery ticket, he won $5 million, right? So he told his girlfriend to take him, once he figured out he won, he told his girlfriend to take him to the lottery place. So he can cash, get the money. So old girl took him to the lottery place. When he got there, they told him that he was ineligible to, get the money from the lottery ticket due to him not having a government issued ID. My boy, why you ain't got no government issued ID? And how did you even get the ticket if you ain't got no ID? But let's continue. So I guess he was trying to figure out how to cash the check because he wanted that money. I understand. So the lottery ticket representative person suggested to him that maybe he should let his girl get the money, right? Since she has a government ID, maybe he should allow her to get the money for him. So I'm guessing that he trusted her a lot, right? Because it's proof there. I ain't never won that much money on no damn lottery ticket. I haven't. But if I'm not mistaken, they make you sign the ticket and then give it to them, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know how all that goes. But at the end of the day, old boy trusted her to get the money. So she ended up getting the money. Not only did he trust her to get the money, he also trusted her to put the money in the damn bank account, in her bank account. Now, I know some women got some, boxes out here that'll make some ninjas go crazy. You hear me? I understand it. But my boy, $5 million in her bank account, I would have rather kept that cash somewhere. Kept that cash somewhere because ain't no way. That's your girlfriend. But let's continue. So he's sitting at the hotel waiting on her to get back from going to the bank. Why you ain't go up anyway? Like, I'm trying to figure out how long y'all have been together, what type of history y'all got, all type of shit. Because why you didn't go with her to the bank? Want that your money on? That was yours. Anywho, he waiting on her. He calling, no response. He texting, no response. So he left to go look for her. This is where, how did you leave to go? You didn't have no car to go take yourself to the lottery place. How did you leave and go look for her? I guess he went walking. I don't know. He had a little money on, so did he Uber? I don't know. But he ended up finding old girl with another man, laying with another man. Was she at the hotel with another ninja? Where was she at? Like, I want so many more parts of this story. I almost want to find old boy and ask him, like, can you please give me some details? Because once he found out that she was with somebody else, she gonna say, I want to break up. I don't want you no more. Man, everything in that hotel, house, whatever, would have been messed up. Do you hear me? Everything in there. Just gonna say that. So he decided to get a lawyer. You can't even get a bank account, let alone have a state ID. But your ass wants to get a lawyer to try to get your money back when you agreed to her getting the money, and then you want to try to sue her and the lottery ticket person because they gave you bad advice. So we suing people out here now because we took crazy advice. Oh, okay. I really want to see how this turned out because I don't think old boy gonna get no money on it. All right, y'all, that's all the tea that I have today. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Minute Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
I ain't finna be over here playing with them sounds Lavelle got. So she ain't getting forgiven for that one. Like that's what I ain't forgetting or forgiving for, cause she yeah. But he was dumb. I'm pretty sure if I didn't have a government ID and I'm just dating a woman, I'm pretty sure there's somebody outside of her that I could really trust, whether it's a family member, mama, daddy, sister, brother, somebody else that I could trust to take that money and put it in their account and then break mine off, and I get them something. So, like Rodney said, he ain't getting that back. He not getting that back. Now I don't know. You know, if he got a good enough attorney, he might be able to figure out how to get some of it. I don't know. But for the most part, I don't think he's getting it back. But that, in my opinion, is that's an unforgivable. It would be hard for me to forgive myself for doing it. Right. I'd have been like, because you have, what is it? Is it 120 days or whatever to redeem the ticket? Whatever it is, 90, 120 days, or is it 6 months? Whatever it is. He had time to redeem that ticket, right? Man, I would have signed that ticket, put that ticket in my pocket, safe somewhere, went in and got me an ID, a government issue ID, and went back or told them people, you know, hold that money, I'll be back. I didn't got that ID. A year. Yeah, I know some places, I thought I know with some tickets, because I know I had a ticket and it said I had I think 120 days to redeem it. It was like a instant win ticket. But $5 million, bro, I'm not finna trust $5 million in the hand with a girlfriend. No. 5 million and she just walked away with, that is an unforgivable offense to myself and for her. Not only am I not forgiving her, I'm not gonna forgive myself for allowing it to happen. Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know, man, how she somehow find something. She always finds something that goes along with whatever the topic is. And she didn't even know the topic. Clearly, she hopped on here and said, what's the topic? She didn't even know what the topic was. And so, but yet she made a video that it clearly is an unforgivable. I ain't gonna say it's clearly unforgivable, because for some people, you know, the money probably wouldn't be, you know, they be like, okay, I ain't never had it, so easy come, easy go. I wouldn't have been one of them people that said it, but it may be somebody out there like Rodney. Rodney is one of those people. Let me get back to Rodney's statement, because Rodney was real generous. Let me get back to Rodney's statement. Rodney said, where it go? Here it go. It's easy for me to forgive. That's what Rodney said now. It's easy for me to forgive, but I won't forget until years of your changed behavior has passed. If my trust was broken, you must earn it back. I'm not the type to bring it up again or hold it over your head. I'm not going to hold that $5 million over your head if you come back and your behavior changes. I'm just going to forgive you. It's likely it'll be in the back of my mind, though. Rodney said it may depend on the state. I saw an hour, they said a year. In that video, it was a $5 million ticket. Mel said, we're going to have to see Rodney, LOL. Rodney's already said he's going to forgive. I'm going to forgive because that's just who I am. I'm going to forgive, and as long as she doesn't display that behavior anymore, she can take that $5 million and, you know, everything will be fine. Oh my God. I got it though, Rod. I'm like that too, man. But forgiveness can be very difficult, guys. It can be difficult because, you know, it creates all kinds of emotional, psychological, and other relational factors, man, that, you know, you got vulnerability in there. You got, man, the need for the get back. I need some justice, man. I gotta get that revenge back. And then, even, sometimes, you can have an identity crisis, associated with forgiveness, man, that allows you to just kind of hold on to the anger. But out of all these, I think the vulnerability part for me, because with the vulnerability part, you really kind of expose yourself. He said, dude, put some bass in your voice. Oh yeah, when I'm talking about you, man, I need to put some bass in my voice. Maya said she hollering. Hold on, Rodney. Let me see.
Rodney said, I'ma forgive her for taking that $5 million. Cause I'ma just forgive her.
It's the kind of bass you want, huh, Rodney? We'll give you this kind of bass, my guy. I'm gonna forgive her for stealing my $5 million as long as her behavior changes.
Oh my God. Rodney said, no, I see her in court. I'm gonna have them freeze that account. Sue her, get my money, then I'll forgive her. LOL. Oh, y'all are hilarious, bro. Y'all are funny. Okay. This has been another good one, man. I do think we all on the kind of the same page as it relates to most of us, at least trying to forgive, but maybe not quite forgetting. Not throwing it back up in your face, but just kind of not forgetting that, you didn't try to throw me under the bridge and water me down. So another good show, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all of your comments. And Monk said, don't play with my guy Rodney like that. For all of your comments, man. Thank you, Queen, for clocking that T for us and being on one accord with us once again. We thank you guys. We appreciate it, man. We'll see you guys on tomorrow. Let's close this out with a good prayer. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another opportunity. God, we thank you for life and life more abundantly. We pray now for, Lord, all those who are duty bound to pray for, those who are sick, shut in, those who are in convalescent homes, those who are behind prison walls, Lord, those that don't know you and pardon them their own sin. I ask for a special prayer, oh God, for my brother, oh God, that you would just let your will be done, whatever situation is, God. We just trust you and trust your way and allow your will to be done. God, we thank you for all of our viewers and listeners, and we pray now that you will grant them their heart's desire, whatever they stand in the need of, oh God, that you will grant it in grace. Oh God, we pray for Lavelle and his family, Queen and her family, God, that's continued to strengthen. Pray for my wife, my children, my family, oh God, continue to bless us in a special way. And even, oh God, as we travel on next week, I know this is way in advance, but God, I'm asking you for protection, a shield of protection all around us, oh God, that you will grant us safe passage to and from our destination. And even when we come back home, we'll find our homes well. God, we thank you. We love you. It's in Jesus' name that we pray and ask all of these things. Thank God and amen. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad place. 2 Men in Hats. Let's talk about it.
The 2 Minute Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle, every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock Dead. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. 2 Minute Hats podcast.